Today we celebrate the Feast of the Ascension, which is 40 days after Easter and 9 days before Pentecost. And what we see is something that Jesus is, even in his ascension into heaven, fulfilling the Old Testament, fulfilling what's called types, prototypes, or shadows that he fulfills in the Old Testament. So we have this beautiful passage in 1 Kings where they see Elisha sees Elijah go into heaven. And then he says, "Give me a double portion of your spirit." He says that. And Elijah says, "If you see me go into heaven, then you will receive a double portion of my spirit." And then what we see is that Elisha does the things that Elijah did. Elisha does the things that Elijah did because he has the double spirit of Elijah. We see something similar between Moses and Joshua. It says that Joshua received a spirit of wisdom, and so is Joshua doing the kinds of things that Moses did. And so today, what we see is that Jesus fulfills the death of Moses, which we read in the New Testament is mysterious, and somehow his body goes into heaven. We see, there's a fight over his body, which seems to imply that his body goes into heaven. And then we see as well the ascension of Elijah into heaven. And so this image that we have behind us, we have Moses and we have Elijah at the Transfiguration. And Jesus talks to them because he also fulfills what it is that they did. So Transfiguration, a different thing, but the picture just happens to have figures in the same image. And so what happens with the Ascension? The Ascension, Jesus goes up, and then the church and/or the apostles receive the Spirit and start to do the kind of things that Jesus did. They start to do the kind of things that Jesus did. We see as well, there is this phrase, "Men of Galilee, why are you standing there looking at the sky? This Jesus who has been taken up from you into heaven will return in the same way as you have seen him going into heaven. Men of Galilee, why are you standing there looking at the sky?" So this looking at the sky is condemned. And I think that this is what Marx thinks he's condemning when he says religion is an opiate of the masses, with the idea that religion makes us focus on the afterlife. But what do we see here? What do we see in the Acts of the Apostles? If Marx had read any further, what would he have seen? He would have seen that they're sent back into the city, back into the countryside. They're sent to preach, to do miracles, to challenge people to live a radically different way of life. That Christianity is not about looking into the sky. It is not about looking into the sky. Rather, it is about receiving the Spirit, receiving God, and then bringing God into all those places of trouble and toil. It's about transformation, not only interior transformation, but also exterior transformation. That our transformation is supposed to be a change for the better in our family, a change for the better in our neighborhood, a change for the better in our city. Why? Because it is as if Jesus is walking in the city. Because the Spirit of God, the Holy Spirit, is in us. And so just as Jesus came and brought justice in small instances, right? Like preventing the woman caught in adultery from being condemned, from being killed. just as he went and brought wisdom of what to do in regard to this and to that. So we must enter into every place and transform the world. Transform the world. Because Jesus is coming back. Because this world is passing away. That's why we must act quickly. Because we don't have 1,000,000 years. We don't have 1,000 years. We don't have 50 years. We don't have 5 months. All we have is today. All we have is this moment.